welcome everybody to joining the webinar. If you're watching this later on, welcome to you guys as well. So what we're going to be kind of reviewing today is getting your 2024 internet marketing plan put together, right? Getting those increased leads and all the other fun stuff. And we're going to kind of jump right into it. So if you have any questions, pop them in chat. If you don't, not a problem. I'm going to be stopping and asking questions in the meantime. So be on your toes. There's no pop quiz, but it's really just to kind of keep you guys engaged and see where you are, keep a pulse on the people watching. So we'll jump right on in. So this is what we're going to cover. We're going to be setting goals for your 2024, like trying to figure out how many leads you need to hit your goals, your target, your revenue. We're going to be talking about the 3 fundamentals of marketing success and how to optimize your website for conversions for 2024 and much more beyond, right? Things are always changing, but we get the foundation, it's easier to keep building upon. We're going to talk about the big picture of marketing and all the channels that you need to be on to maximize your lead flow. And then the latest trends and what you should be focusing on in 2024. And then we're going to develop that custom plan where you are now, from where you are now to where you need to be. Okay? So, we need your attention. So all cell phones off. Get off Facebook. Stop watching the crash reels online. If you're a home integrator and you're serious about getting results in 2024, these next 16 minutes to an hour and a half are going to change your life. Okay? So stay with us. So, if you stay to the end, we got a couple things we're going to give away. The first thing is the checklist, okay? So, you'll see within the webinar, there's a link that you can go to. It takes you to a website. You can download the checklist. And this is basically going to kind of show you or give you a little checklist for each different section within your online marketing. It's going to help you kind of say, like, I got this done, I got this done, and I got this done. That way you can say you have the foundation and you're ready to take it to the next level. All right? So let's talk about who we are, okay, and why you should listen to us. We are CDM members first and foremost, and we've owned and operated our own 7-figure residential and commercial tech business. We were in the IT space for a long time, and we specialize in the networking side of things. We've published multiple articles in various trade magazines, widely accepted as a premier expert in the internet marketing for home integrators, and we work with home integrator businesses across the U.S. and solely home integrator businesses. Okay, we're working on a book for you guys too, so keep an eye out for that. We'll probably shamelessly plug that in the future. Lane, is there anything you want to add to that?
No, you hit it all. You hit the nail on the head there.
Okay. So, our mission is pretty simple and straightforward. Our goal is to help 500 home integrators across the nation triple their sales. We want to make marketing very accessible to you guys and make it feel like there's a reliable company out there to help you guys grow. We want to help integrators connect with more clients with more disposable income. We know most of you guys are shooting for those 1%ers who can drop, minimal $75,000 to $150,000 on projects. We also want to help home integrators build predictable and sustainable growth so they can live their lives they desire, right? We don't want to be serving the 1%ers and not be a 1%er ourselves. So we're going to help you do that. Okay, we're going to start off with a question right here. And it's a pretty hard question to answer, and you might get the answer later on. But I want you to write it down. If you know what it is, put it in chat. What is the hardest part about marketing your home integration business online? Okay. And I know a lot of people might say, I don't know where to start. I don't trust marketing agencies. Been burnt in the past. Understand. Don't have the funds. Those are some ideas, some things that we hear. But write yours down. Put it in chat if you want to, and we'll share later. Getting the right customers. That's right. And that's a good one right there. A lot of people are tired of getting those, I just want my TV hung on the fireplace jobs when they're looking for those full home integration, stuff like that. So we'll show you how to get that kind of stuff. Okay. So if in our email we sent out a link saying where you can download the workbook. This will help you follow along, take down notes and stuff like that. Lane's already dropped the link in the chat. So go ahead and hit that link up. If you don't have the workbook, download it, and you can kind of follow along with us. Okay? All right. Let's talk about the why. Like, why are we doing this? Okay? There's so many options out there. They're unclear. Like, it's very unclear where to spend your money, where to put your budget for marketing. Okay? Here's kind of like what we have mapped out for a full encompassing full marketing plan, right? If you're kind of hitting all the notes. You start off with number one as SEO. It's organic. It's the foundation of where we want to be when it comes down to marketing. You're getting a good, strong copy. Your conversions are set up on your website, so you're able to convert that. There's a lot of on-page optimization, so you index really well on Google. A lot of link building, so people will find your website from other different sites, like Forbes or other like places about smart home automation and stuff like that. People can find you online where you are. So with citations, you're blogging, giving value out to your prospects about different new trends, new things in the smart home world, home theater world, all that fun stuff. And your reputation is looking pretty solid online. Okay, so what is reputation? Reputation is like your reviews, testimonials, and stuff like that. You can start it off on Google, but it needs to live on the website too. And we'll show you all that kind of stuff. We can move along. We're PPC, and as we kind of go around the circle, it's as you have money to spend because you're growing, this is where you start laying out stuff, right? So PPC is paid per click. That's like your Google ads or Bing ads. You also have retargeting through Google and Facebook and other social media platforms. And then you can start spending money on paid online directories like Yelp, Angie's List, Thumbtack, and there's a huge list out there. Paid per lead, that is more like the local Google service ads, and we'll talk about that as a new trend in 2024 later on. And then you need to start working on getting repeat business and referrals, and that's through email and social media and stuff like that, building out a referral program, all kinds of fun stuff there. And then last on this list really is social media advertising. And we put that last because that takes an enormous amount of money to get any kind of results out of it. Most people need to spend $5 to $10,000 a month in ads alone on social media to actually get some decent ROI out of it. Otherwise, you're just throwing money away. So we'll keep moving along here. So major investments in marketing, okay? If you're spending a ton of money in marketing and you're not getting any results, you don't have anything to show for it outside of your company's broke or it's flatlining or your cash flow is kind of rough, you basically have not set up clear goals, right? If you don't have any clear plan, you can easily overspend or worse, underspend and underperform. Some people want to boost a social media post for $500 and expect to get 10, 15 people to kind of raise their hand for an offer, and that's just not going to happen, right? You got to get it out there and get it out there quick and wide. So what is the opportunity here? When you set up clear plans with goals, and you set up targets, your revenue targets, and you have your daily, weekly, and monthly and quarterly KPIs, you're actually going to start seeing some wins, okay? We'll dig into this. So if you generating enough leads to hit your target and keep your techs busy is the key for you guys, right? Like you don't want to have these people that you hired and you have to send them home or lay off people. You want to keep them busy, right? Part of like we go into business to make money. It's a little bit of selfishness there, but at the same time we end up loving the people that we hire and we want to make sure that we take care of them. So when you're spending on marketing, you want to make sure that you actually have a really great return on investments. Okay? You don't want to sit there and spend $10,000 every month and get nothing out of it. And that only comes with a plan. That's where success comes into. So success is maximizing your lead flow and hitting your sales goals for 2024. And then we'll kind of keep digging into this a little bit more. So step one in this whole ordeal is to set clear goals. Okay? So we need to figure out, hey, what are your goals in 2024? If you don't have any goals, you're gonna look like this guy right here in the middle of the water, just sitting there with no wind behind your sails. And you're kind of like lost at sea. It's a scary feeling, a scary thought. And then if you do have goals, this is what this looks like. You have a team behind you. Everyone's doing they're pulling their own weight, and you guys are just zipping through the ocean, right? And the ocean is a representation of all the opportunities out there. The people call it the a blue ocean when you have a big pond for opportunities. So let's talk about this Harvard study. People like to have some kind of logic behind what we're talking about. So let's talk about the study that happened in 1979. 84% of people who graduated from Harvard had no specific goals. 13% of those people that graduated had goals but did not write them down. And 3% had clear written goals and planned to accomplish them. Okay, you can already imagine what is like the results of this was. The 13% that actually had goals but didn't write them down were earning on average twice as much as the 84%. Okay, which is good. But what we want to be is that 3% who were basically um, earning this 10 times the amount as the 97% put together. So if you take the 13% and the 84% and you combine all that income, those 3% were earning 10 times that amount. Those are the 1%ers that you want to be, that we want to go for, and we need to have those clear written down goals. So let's talk about the framework here, okay? I keep saying it, and I'll keep saying it again throughout this entire session, but um, you want to have your goals written down, and you want to have plans, okay? You need 1 year, like a full year goal, which is like what the end result is. How much, like revenue wise, are you trying to hit 1 mil, 1.5, 2, 3, 4, 5? You also need quarterly goals, and that could be revenue wise as well, or how many projects. And then monthly goals is like how many projects you have, and also your MRR, your monthly recurring revenue. So you must have a stopping point at the beginning of each new year and an end of each quarter to reflect. Lane and I like to talk about celebrating certain milestones. And so we have our monthly goals that we want to hit, and we pat ourselves on the back. Quarterly goals, we want to go celebrate and do something exciting. And annual goals, we do our corporate retreat where we invite all our employees out to go do something. So you don't have to follow that structure, but you need to give yourself goals to hit and reasons to celebrate. So, what are your goals for 2024? These are things you can write down in your workbook. So, you need to write down like what is your revenue target? How much is that monthly? How many calls will that require for you to get? And what is your average transaction value? Okay. Part of this, when you're writing down, is basically setting KPIs for yourself, and we'll kind of dig into that too. So here's an example of 2024 goals. Okay. So if your revenue goal is 1.5 mil, that's $125,000 a month, and the average projects, if you're going for smaller ones, $15,000, and you would need 9 new clients a month to accomplish that. Okay. So how many leads will you need to get there, right? Because not everything is going to be I call, I close, and go. So you need to figure that out. So if you are closing 55% of your web forms, phone calls, all that jazz, you would need 14 leads per month to come in to get those 9 new deals. So we have this little planner, and this is what you guys are probably going to be filling out. So you can go ahead and fill this out. We'll give you like 10 minutes to kind of do this piece. Or 5 minutes. You don't need 10 minutes, but 5 minutes to kind of do this. And just write down like what your goal is for 2024 revenue wise. Break that down monthly. And then your average ticket sale. You guys should know that, whether it's 10,000 or 75,000 or whatever the case may be, and figure out these numbers. If you have any questions.
So we're going to be looking at, real quick, Sean, we're going to be looking at page 6 in the workbook here. It's what are your goals for 2024? You could start writing all that information down in that workbook there.
Does anybody have any questions so far with these numbers?
I'm not seeing any come in just yet. If you have any questions, guys, just pop them in the chat, or you can hit the little raise hand icon, and we'll be happy to answer any questions you have.
If
Looks
everybody,
like we're probably pretty good to move on,
okay,
Sean.
I was about to say the
I think
same
we're
thing.
okay.
If no one has any questions and stuff like that, we'll move along. All right. So, like I said, we're gonna be asking some questions and stuff like that. So in the chat below, go ahead and let us know what your 2024 goals are and how many leads you'll need to get there monthly, right? So if you're, going for that 6 mil that we just showcased right there in the example, let us know how many leads that is, and I'll keep that going. So
Let's go back just for a minute, Sean. Let's go
yeah,
over that math real quick, just so people can kind of follow along with
yeah.
where all this math is coming from and how we get these numbers and what it means.
Do you want to review it or you want me to review it?
No, go ahead. Yeah, please do.
Okay. All right. So if you're targeting $6 million, right? And I'm gonna pull up my calculator too. So I think most of you guys are gonna be targeting around the 2 to 4 million. So we'll play 2,500 or 2.5 mil. You divide that by 12, that's gonna give you what your monthly is, right? So that's like 208,333,000. And so if your average ticket is, let's say your average ticket is $35,000, you divide that number, your monthly, by that, and that tells you like, okay, I need 6 new projects a month to hit that goal. And you need to figure out, okay, what is your conversion rate? How many times, like out of every 10 people you call, um, or how many out of every 10 people that call you or contact you, how many of those are you closing? This example uses 7. I think the actual industry average is 40%, so we want to go with 40%, okay? So if we close 40% and we need 6, I think we need 11. Oh yeah, I did the wrong number. Yeah, that's right, 11. No. Yeah, you need a 13 leads to hit that mark, that 1.5 or 2.5 million at $35,000 an average ticket to hit your goal. Okay, so if you guys understand that math, you'll be able to kind of work this out. If you don't, if you're still struggling trying to figure out what your conversion rate is and stuff like that, or what that percentage is, hit me up in the comments. But that's going to tell you what you need. And then what's right there, you can kind of lay out what your annual budget required to hit the target is. Lane, I don't remember where we got that number from.
It's
10,
the
is it 10%?
so it's if you look at the average cost per lead generated, and
Oh,
you want to hit like, okay, so I want 20 projects, right, is my goal. Well, if you look at your conversion rate and say, okay, how many leads do I need to generate to hit that goal, then you
okay.
would just divide that by your
You always times that. So if you needed 20
yeah,
leads and
sorry.
your average cost per acquisition is $250, you would times that. Um, the average across the states for you guys in this industry is going to be roughly around like the $600 to $700 range. And that can spike up to like over 1,000. It can be less than that too, like less than the $600 range. It really depends on region, but I would just budget for $600 per acquisition. All right, let's move along here. So we asked this question, what your goal is. Go ahead and put that in there, and then let us know how many leads that you need to get in monthly to get there. Okay, and that's not what you're closing. That's like how many leads you need. That's part of the KPI there. So let's talk about fundamentals. Okay, so we have the messaging, which is what you're talking about. The market is who you're talking to, and that's like your target audience there. And the media is like how, or I like to also say where you're talking, whether it's Facebook, emails, LinkedIn, whatever the case may be. Okay, so let's update our marketing message. We're going to keep going through this little workshop here, so we're going to be doing some exercises. So who is your ideal customer, right? We need to identify that so we can actually get in the mindset of who we're talking to, okay? In your workbook, you'll have you won't have this nice little graphic, but you'll have a like four little squares where you can kind of fill out this information. And we're going to go through some examples here in the next couple of slides. But pain and frustrations, like what are their pain points? Why are they calling you? Their goals and desires, like what do they want out of, what is a goal for them to have if they got rid of that pain or that frustration? What are their fears and implications? These are things that will happen if they don't fix those fears. And the dreams and aspirations, that is like the end goal, like the white picket fence American dream kind of feel, right? So we need to kind of figure that out. And here's some examples we got for you guys. So write these down, go through it with this, and we'll figure this out. So from a demographic standpoint, we can kind of figure out who we're talking to, what your average Joe is for you. And they might obviously going to be a homeowner if they're wanting to smart home kind of stuff that they're going to be spending like thousands upon thousands of dollars on. Figure out their age. Are they 35? Are they a little bit more up the chain, 40, 50, 60 years old? A little bit more wise behind the ears. I know most of you guys probably speak with the female more often than the husband until it's time to sign the check. Usually they're married with kids. Kids are probably part of the reason why they want to talk with you guys for security and safety. Head of household, 400K plus a year of annual salary. So you're looking for those one percenters. They're family oriented. They're reliable. They like technology. They like to please people and expect the same in return. They're not handy, which is why they're calling you guys. They like gardening, crafts, and arts. They like to take care of their house, make things look really cool, make things really nice. Probably live in a gated community. And they like to take interest in their community. Okay, so this is like a demographic, the type of person that you're probably talking to, and some of their pains and frustrations they might have. And then these might not be what you are writing down, but here's some examples to kind of give you some inspiration. So luxury has become a necessity, right? They make so much money and they need to spend some of that money to make themselves safer or live a little bit better, whatever the case may be. So now this luxury has become a necessity. Dim lighting has impact on the family, and so they want better lighting or something like that, right? Maybe they're not getting good sleep, or they're still wide too awake, or they're too awake at night instead of being able to kind of relax. They're too busy to deal with some of the stuff they have. They might be a lawyer or a doctor working around the clock. And then their last home they had all this cool automation they didn't put in, but they really enjoyed it. And they got this new home, or they're building a new home, and they can't live without it now. So they're calling, right? So here's some of the fears and implications, okay? While they're doing their research, they might be fearing that they're going to be ripped off because they know they're going to be spending 30 to 40, maybe 50 grand on something, or even a lot more. They're scared that their new home or their current home is going to be damaged by faulty workmanship. They're so busy that they really don't want to have to wait around all day for like techs to arrive at the house. They're being inconvenienced by coordinating with the tech instead of just having things done. They don't want a disaster caused in their house, things being broken, walls being torn down, maybe a wrestling match between two angry techs going on in the garage. their bill, their invoice might be way more than they expected because there's surprise fees and stuff like that, and things out of scope happen and are discussed about. So what leads to this, right? They're their goals and desires out of all this. So they want to probably have a well-kept home. They want their family taken care of. They want to be able to unwind after a long day of work without having to fiddle around with the lights and stuff like that. They want things just to happen around them after doing all day long. They want to live in a nicer, more luxurious house. They want to feel like all the work they do actually means something. They have something to show for it. They want a healthy and happy and successful family. Spend more time with family, so they probably want their kids to hang around the house more, maybe bring their friends over because they have the cool house. Um, they want to travel and have fun with the family without worrying about what the hell's going on at home, right? They want to make sure that everything's safe and secure and things are being recorded and no one's like walking out of their back door or pool house with their new 85-inch widescreen TV. Um, they want to be the Jones that everybody's jonesing for. They want that respect, that approval from friends and family around them. They just want some peace of mind, right? That everything's copacetic and good. They're going to go home to a really cool place. They want to make sure their family's safe and secure. Little Jimmy's not locked out of the house after getting off the school bus because he forgot his key. He can get in with a keypad, or maybe some kind of biometric kind of thing. And then just like I said before, a cool place to bring people over to watch the Dallas Cowboys finally get back in the Super Bowl after 2 decades. So
And these are all really good examples, guys, but really want to encourage you to come up with your own and think about who your target customer is, because not everybody has the same target customer, and they can really vary in market areas depending at, like, if you're in Texas or California or New York. So really think about who your customer is and the customer you want to work with, and write those things down. And if you're on page 9 of the workbook, we've given you some space there to do that.
okay. So the reason why we're doing this, right? And I know that you guys are probably still writing some stuff. I'm gonna give you some more time, but I want to give you a reason why. Because it seems elementary to kind of come up with this stuff. But if you can see Mr. Jones through Mr. Jones' eyes, then you can sell what Mr. Jones buys. And there's another way I like to say this. That's not so much of a riddle, but it will sound like one here in a second. But people do not buy when they understand your product. People buy when they feel understood by your brand. And that's the whole point of this, right? If we can relate to who we're trying to market to or sell to, and they feel like they're understood, they feel like they're buying from a friend and they're buying for someone they can trust. Okay? That's just why, like, there's this giant split between Pepsi and Coca-Cola. They're two different messaging. They resonate with two different types of people. To me, probably both are very similar in taste, but the whole world would argue that they taste extremely different. But it's all about who they resonate with messaging wise, and it's just a damn soda. So think about that. Okay. I'm gonna give you a couple more minutes. We'll continue on at like 12:35. If you have any questions, let me know. And I'm gonna turn my camera off real quick and respond to an email while you guys fill this out.
So just want to reiterate, we're on page 9 in the workbook, and we're filling out your target customer demographics, some of their fears, implications they may have, pains and frustrations, and then lastly, goals and desires. You don't have to make this a big long list right this moment, but because some of this stuff takes time to really think about. So just jot down a couple notes for now, and then you can always revisit it later, but make sure you come back to it later.
All right. Does anybody have any like questions they might have? about this? If so, go ahead and lay it out in chat. If not, we'll go ahead and move on. Like Lane just said, write down some shorthand notes and stuff like that so you can revisit this. And then we'll make an offer to work with you guys later on. We can kind of schedule some time, some one-on-one time with you guys to kind of really lay this out. No questions. Okay, so everybody's on the same page. All right, so crafting your message, crafting what is being said, right? We now know like who we're talking to, and we kind of got all this like demographic and psychographic figured out, pain and frustrations, all that fun stuff, so we can craft this message. Okay. So, what page is this on in the workbook here, Lane? Is this page 11?
This is page 10.
Page 10. Okay.
So under what is your message?
So on page 10 in the workbook, you should be able to kind of write out like why should someone choose your business, choose to do business with you versus the competition. And Lane and I have sat through probably hundreds, if not 1,000 at least, strategy sessions, going through this with people. And the most common one people want to go with is because my techs are awesome.
Or
We're more passionate than our competitors in this space. Those things don't fly. No one cares,
yeah,
right? What they do care about. We got some examples on the next slide, I believe.
yeah,
What
we do. Yeah.
what people do care about. I'll go ahead and go to the example. Go back. Is stuff like same day service or 24-hour service on or on time service kind of stuff. Like things to do with things that are not going to cause them to take a whole day off or reschedule because your techs can't be there after scheduling some time. Straightforward pricing. They know exactly what they're going to be cutting a check for, and they're not going to have these out of pocket fees or expenses come up. Okay. Satisfaction guaranteed kind of thing, like you're warranting the service versus just the hardware that you're putting in. Trustworthy technicians. These are like maybe you're doing like deeper background checks than most other people are, so you're not sending some potential murder into their home or somebody who is known for having sticky fingers. They're trustworthy, right? So think about that with this right here.
One thing I want to add to this too, something we see a lot, just about everybody says this, is, well, we're different because we care about our customers. And that's great, but everybody says that. That does not make you different. So
You have to care for your
bear that in mind.
customers to
It's not
make
going to work.
money. Yeah.
Yeah, it's that kind of messaging just doesn't work. Sorry.
All right. So as you're writing down that first like three things right there, the second piece is benefits, right? What benefit do you offer that to your target customer that they'll resonate with, right? They're probably not going to resonate with discounts. They don't care about discounts. They care about quality. If you're focusing on the top folks, if you're in the middle class section, you're doing more iHome or Google Home, whatever the case may be, the stuff you can buy off the shelf easily, then you might be going with discounts, special pricing, deals and stuff like that. But
Think,
you have to kind of figure out who you're talking to and what resonates with them the most.
yeah, if quality is something that, makes you different, think about some of the things that makes your work, higher quality than your competition. So what makes what makes your service higher quality than the competition, essentially?
Like, are you doing a 30-day
Exactly is it?
check-in after you do your
Yeah.
installation? Are you providing a year-long warranty service where they do like monthly check-ins with installation and quality of assurance kind of stuff? Like, think about that kind of stuff. And don't be afraid to kind of like think outside of the box with some of these things because the more unique it is, the better it will be. So I'll give you guys another 30 seconds to kind of write this stuff down. We already went over this. So let's make the case here, okay? This is basically that the benefits kind of stuff: fast same day service, 24 hours with no overtime charges, clean cut professional technicians, someone that looks as trustworthy as they are. Um, Maybe they leave the home cleaner than they found it, kind of stuff. Great service guaranteed. So maybe they've dealt with some grouchy technicians in the past, but you're going to guarantee that your technicians are going to go in there with a smile on their face and already got their coffee in their system, so they're not so grouchy. So let's figure out what is your message, and you guys can write this down. Like, take the top one, both of those sections, and kind of put it in chat. And I know Lane's gonna take some notes here, but let us know what your message is. What is your offer? And don't worry, not everyone's not gonna take your message, because they, like I said, every market is different. Every target audience is different, and not everyone's focusing on the same person. Okay, a lot of different types of people out there. Okay, so let's talk about where we're going to be putting this message out at. Okay, we know who we're talking to, we know what we're saying. Where are we actually going to put this out at? Okay, so we want to make sure that our hub converts. What is the hub? The hub is your website. Okay, the hub is where everything connects. So all your advertising, your SEO efforts, social media, your online PR, press releases and stuff like that, your content that you're putting out maybe on other websites or your own, your blog, all points back to something on your website, right? That's your hub. Everything needs to funnel through that. Why is this important? It's conversions. Conversions is what's going to make you money, right? And there's some key points that we need to make sure that we have on a website to make sure you're converting well, okay? So I have some stuff here highlighted. You can see right there that important conversion messaging. This is the messaging you guys are going to kind of come up with once you kind of figure out like what the offer is and what the benefit is. What makes you different and what the benefit is. So this right here, this is one of our clients' hi-fi installs. They're transforming spaces, elevating experience. You're a trusted automation expert in Austin, Texas, right? So the whole trusted piece, and then they're talking about what they're going to do with this space. It's going to be really cool, a totally different feel, right? The company message is right below, like what they're all about, what their goals are as a company. An easy contact form button is right there. So they click the button, a contact form pops up. They can contact them really easily. And then you can see at the top right, the phone number is right there. That is clickable, so they can make a phone call. And then they have social proof right below the fold. Okay, so what we've done here with this one small section of the website is that we've built out I guess you can call it a net, to capture three types of people. You have your impulsive people who are more emotional. They're probably reacting from your social post or ad, going to your website and clicking on the easiest thing to get a hold of you on, whether it's a phone number, a form, or a chatbot. The second is logical. They're looking at your mission and they're saying that, okay, these guys align with what I want to do. Their mission is on point with what I want. And then you have your social proof people who are looking for people in their community that like you. All right, it's almost like a Jones effect. You know, so and so has like gave you 5 stars and they had this awesome experience. Maybe there's some photos in that review, and they're like, man, I really want that, right? So these are important pieces to have. So this is what optimized conversion can really do, like what the impact it can have, right? So leads wise, remember this is not closed deals, but if you have 1,400 leads, or you have a question or a statement, I like to have the phone number clickable. I can't capture all that, Lane. Did you get that?
Yeah, it says I like having the phone number clickable because if someone has referred our company, you want them to easily call you.
That's
Yeah, no,
right.
that's a really great point. Yep. Yeah, the people are used to convenience. these days. And if you if you don't cater to that, they're just gonna hit the back button and go find somebody else that will.
That's
So
I agree.
make sure you're making it easy for people to get a hold of you. That's really important in today's age. Some people some people just like texting. Some people just want to call you, and then some people are okay with just filling out a form. Um, so you want to make sure you have all three of those things covered, or you're gonna miss like a whole third of your market
True.
if you don't.
And we'll kind of dive into like the different ways and stuff like that here in a bit. But we remember we talked about previously. You need X amount of leads to get X amount of closed deals to hit your targets, right? So this person spent $2,500 to get 1,400 leads at $1.69 per conversion, right? That is phenomenal, and this is maybe the dream, but this is not going to be attainable to everyone. Okay, but this worked out in their favor because they got 375 organic calls. People called that number on their website. They either clicked it or saw it, clicked it, and called it, or they clicked the form, 31 form fill outs, and then they had their GMB or GPB now, as it's called, optimized. So they had 1,000 people find them on the Google Maps because they do what they want to do. They're in the area, the reviews look good, all that fun stuff, and they got 1,000 calls out of there, right? So they had a total of 1,400 leads, almost 1,500 leads right there. Okay, so if you guys could have 1,500 leads for your smart home automation business, and you're able to close 40% of that, I'm pretty sure you're going to need to hire the full state to be your techs just to be able to do these jobs, right? That's a really good day or a month,
But
really.
also these numbers show too, if you look at the number of calls versus the number of web forms, you can see that in this particular area, people just prefer to call you. So if you don't have that phone number easily accessible, you're missing out on a lot of people.
That's true. So here's some questions that you should be able to answer about your website, right? Make sure that it's set up for like high conversion. Okay. A, does the messaging speak to your target audience? Does it address their fears and frustrations? And does it speak to why they should choose you? Okay. Does it have authentic images of your team on the homepage or throughout the site? Do you have video elements on your website? Is there like a welcoming message maybe in video format? Does your services provide some kind of video explanation? We really push a lot of our clients to do that. I know it takes time, but it goes a long way. It also sets you apart from a lot of other people who are too lazy to do it. Does it showcase your reviews more prominently on your homepage, like right below that fold, like we always suggest? Using tools like Bird Eye or Review Buzz. Does it make it easy for them to take action and get in contact with you through your company? Chat bots, clickable phone number, web forms that are right then and there, whether they pop up or you have a button straight to them. Does it get the basic? Sorry, get the basics kind of in order, right? We kind of talked about these kind of stuff, but the phone number needs to be like in the right hand corner, whether it's the top or bottom, and we prefer the top because most people read the middle, the eyes go up, and they read from the right to the left. So the second thing they see is your number. Okay. Ensure that there is a web form that the customers can fill out. The easiest thing to do is just add a button, they click it, and it just pops up a form anywhere they are on the site. Okay. You can also do those in the bottom right hand corner, web forms that pop up right there as well, along with a chatbot. Add credibility and authority symbols, right? Your Better Business Bureau stuff, your awards, associations, certifications, all that stuff goes a long way. It makes you guys seem like more of authorities. Are there call to actions on each page? Reach out, call, get a quote, all that stuff, free estimate. Are you giving them the opportunity to engage via chat? We keep talking about the chat bot. Those are free now. You can get chat bots for free. or a lot of marketing CRMs come with them integrated. If you, well, all our clients have that capability. Use our CRM that we provide to them. It comes with a chatbot. Are you leveraging marketing automations and text messages to maximize your lead conversion rate? And we'll talk a little bit more about this automation stuff here in a few. Okay. Answer those questions as you go along. But if you don't know most of this stuff, that kind of means that your website is probably not optimized for conversions, and that's something that you need to fix. And we'll kind of go, like, you'll see why here in a few.
A lot of these questions too are actually in that checklist we're going to be giving out too, so they'll be able to review it later as well.
It's true. So the question is right now, if you pull up your website right now, is it built to convert? Do you know what you need to tweak, right? And we're about to give out that link for the checklist here soon. Actually, Lane, if you want to drop that in chat.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and do that now.
So the biggest marketing issues facing home integrators right now is what? It's simply just unconverted leads. Okay, why are they unconverted? And well, here's a little math problem for you right here. Problem. Okay, 50 to 60% of inbound leads leave unconverted. That's a lot of like money on the table that you just let go. And you're probably still wondering how have you let it go, right? If they come to my website, it's not my fault that they left, right? It is kind of your fault, and we'll kind of go over that. Okay, 90% of web form fails to convert as well. There's a time limit on this stuff. Okay, leads that are not followed up within 15 minutes go cold. So if you get like a form, someone booked an appointment, scheduled any kind of thing with you, reached out, called. If they're not followed up within 15 minutes, it goes cold. Okay, the average customer must be followed up between 5 to 7 times before booking. All right. I like to say there's a magic marketing number of 7. I like to go for the number 7, and those are touches that could be done via social media, Google Ads, email, text messaging, direct mail. But they need to see your name out there somewhere 7 different times for you to live rent free in their brain. Okay. Also, today's customers or consumers prefer to interact via text messaging versus phone calls or emails, right? I'm a millennial. I will basically, I forget the name of the word I'm going to use, but I will not answer the phone. I will wait for a voicemail and find out if there's someone I even want to talk to first. You text me though, I'll banter back and forth with you. I'll let you get your message out there. I'll engage a little bit. Email, I'll do the same thing, but I do not want to be on a phone call, right? So here's a solution to those problems, okay? We talked about marketing automation before, but we need to leverage marketing automation. Marketing automation is probably the most affordable thing that you can do today if you haven't got that stuff done yet. Like, it is literally as little as $100 a month for most places. And you can find it some places for $50 a month if you're on a very, very tight budget, okay? Marketing automation allows you to build out web forms that have some kind of trigger that will, you can set up email cadences to those people who filled out stuff so that are constantly being contacted to you through your company via this automation. You can get notifications set up so that you're notified, so you can follow up with a phone call or text messages. And that's the easiest and quickest way to kind of get those touches. Nurture campaigns or sequence campaigns after someone engages. Okay. So simple math here, okay? Let's say you have that magic number 7 working for you. Your website is converting, right? That's what the right side looks like. If you don't have any of that stuff, your left side is probably what you're seeing, right? You're seeing a conversion rate of 30%. You maybe get 10 leads. You're booking 3 of those at an average ticket of $10,000. So you're frowning because at the end of the month, you only pulled in $30K revenue. And you got to send some of your techs home or lay people off. On the right side, you have everything going right. You got the conversions, the automation, you're getting the touches out there. So you have a 70% conversion rate. 7 out of the 10 people are booking calls. You're bringing home $70K. You're much more happier. Okay, and you could put in your own average ticket in there and get that number, but it's just all about getting that conversion rate up because you can't get more leads in than what you're going to get in, right? If you're going to spend, let's say, 5K a month on ads, no matter what, the only way you can get more value or more ROI out of that spend is having a higher conversion on your site, having everything put in
Hmm.
place. Okay.
And let's be honest here, even that 30% is probably high for most people.
It is. I
Yeah.
know. Most people are struggling getting one client, and it's usually from a
Yeah.
referral, and they're living on referrals. And we don't want you to have to rely and live on referrals. Although that's free money. Don't say no to that, and you need to keep that up. But there's so much more opportunity out there for you to have stability, sustainability, and predictability within your own lead flow. And we'll show you all that stuff to you here soon.
Amen. Preach it, brother.
There you go. So every lead you generate, like this conversion stuff, like I just kind of spelled it out for you. You have all your stuff put together, makes all your leads you generate even more valuable. Okay. Again, you're spending 5K, everything's perfectly peachy. You got that 70% conversion rate. That means that your costs per acquisition is much lower. Your margins are much higher. If you don't have your shit together, you're spending money out the wazoo and you're losing your tail on it, right? You're either breaking even or losing money that month. So we have to get those things put in place correctly. So let's implement this into your business, okay? And how we do that. We'll keep moving along. Here's some action items that you kind of need to put in place. What 3 conversion elements will you implement on your website? You don't have to put this in chat, but you can put this in your workbook. Wayne will tell you what page it's on if you're not following along. But 3 things. We talked about a bunch of different things. What are 3 things that you're going to put into your website? Is it going to be a chat bot? You're going to get a marketing CRM. That phone number in the top right-hand corner that's clickable, big, bold, unmissable, right? What is that? Go ahead and write those down. What page are we on the workbook?
Yep, that's page 18, Internet Marketing Initiatives.
Okay.
What are the top 3 internet marketing initiatives that you need to focus on?
Give you guys another 15 seconds to kind of put that together.
Also, in case too, you don't have the link for the checklist for whatever reason, but you do have the workbook link, the checklist is actually inside the workbook too.
It is.
So it should be on page 14 and 15 for the checklist.
All right, let's move it along. So, questions for you guys. What have you learned so far? And what have you noticed? And what would you like to share? If anybody's willing to share. I know we get a little skittish. Okay. We'll keep moving along here. So, let's talk about a little bit about KPIs real quick. All right. We've seen this exact same slide earlier with different numbers, okay? This is KPIs. All right, how much you're going to spend to get your average cost per lead, right? And then how it's going to break out, how many phone calls you're going to get through maps, PPC, your website organically, how many web forms equals leads, right? You need to know how much money needs to go into your marketing engine to kick out how many leads you're going to get out, and you need to know your conversion rate and your close rate in sales to be able to say I'm going to hit this number, right? That's part of having predictability. Chatbots would not be part of the web forms. Actually, that's a totally different piece, right? This person does not have a chatbot. Web forms are literally just something that lives on the website itself. On the page, it could be a pop-up or living right there
Could
that
be
you
like
fill out.
the contact form, my contact us form, as part of a web form.
A chatbot is a live conversational piece that allows you to instantly chat with somebody through the internet via either like the ones that we use. They hit up the chatbot, and it creates a message on in the back of our CRM. We message back. It goes to their cell phones that are texting to us back and forth from their phone, right? So they don't have to stay near their laptop or desktop. They can move around with their phone and continue the conversation. Okay. So what we cover so far, right? We've defined clear goals, and then we can define a target for 2024. We have clarity about who we're talking to, what we're going to say, and where we're going to say it. We're making sure that our website is optimized for conversion, and we understand KPI tracking, right? You guys need to get a dashboard. If you don't want to invest into a dashboard, invest into learning how to track it really well on spreadsheets and live it and breathe it, right? If you can hit those numbers monthly, quarterly, you're going to hit that annual revenue goal. Okay? So, let's talk about some cool key trends for 2024, all right? One is Google local service ads, okay? And Lane's going to talk about that here in a few, but we also are seeing that more shift from a phone conversation to message conversions, right? Or phone conversions to message conversions. People are not calling in as much, they're sending in emails more so than phone calls, and then they're messaging through chat way more than everyone else, right? Every big conglomerate website out there has a chat bot, has a full support where Joe from wherever is responding from. So keep that in mind. And then we must have an all-in perspective. Okay, you can't just do SEO, and you can't just do PPC. You can't do local service ads, and you can't just do social. You have to have this ecosystem that works together. You could build up from something to other things, but once you have SEO and you're getting something out of it, you need to start doing PPC, local service ads, because of multiple touches. People need to be able to see you everywhere they go. It's omnipresent is what we're looking to be. Okay. So Lane's going to take the.
Alrighty. So what are Google local service ads, and how do they differ from regular Google ads? So with regular Google ads, you are paying per click. So any click that someone clicks on the ad and takes you to your website, you're just paying basically for that service. With Google local service ads, it's different. You're paying for leads that come in. So there's a couple caveats with this right now. It's still pretty new. So right now they only are focusing on the home theater service, and there's no like smart home or home automation in there just yet, but we foresee that coming. And then sometimes you will get some of those, hey, can you come hang my TV? But what we've seen across the board mostly is it's been pretty solid, actually, like actual legit home theater installs and bigger projects. Right now we're seeing anywhere from like $25 to $45 based on the area per lead that's coming in. So while we don't recommend it to be like the only ad strategy you run, it can really help supplement an additional Google ad strategy and bring in those extra leads that are right now, at least it's really cost effective. One thing you'll notice about some of the local service ads that you may see is you might see like the little Google guarantee check mark on some of the ads. And that's a process that you have to go through with Google. And it can be kind of they'll make you jump through a few hoops like background checks and certifications and all that. But essentially it's given the customer peace of mind, like, hey, this service is guaranteed by Google. So if they mess it up or something, I'm gonna, Google will refund or help me out with the cost or whatever it may be. It's like a warranty, right? It's like a peace of mind thing for them. So that's Google local service ads in a nutshell. Like I was saying, ride the wave in till the cost makes sense. Like it's new right now, costs are looking really good, but we may see that change over time. So you're going to want to jump on that bandwagon as soon as possible.
Right. And you kind of bring it home for you guys what Lane just talked about, and we had a couple others like little things here. You can kind of see like it's a Google
Oh
track
yeah,
number, and
yep.
then
So
the
you,
Google guarantee.
yeah, you'll be able to see exactly, okay, I know this is a local service lead coming in from Google.
Exactly. So how it works, right? The first thing you got to do is you actually have to apply through the Google Local Service application. Google's actually going to run a background check on you and your employees, so everyone in your company, and that's how you're going to get that Google Trusted badge, which is phenomenal because that just tells anyone who's clicking on that you're squeaky clean. They're going to do a license check, background check, a Pinkerton consulting and insurance check, all that fun jazz. Um, Business owners and all the technicians, anybody who's going to be customer facing has to complete a background check. Once you're approved and active and you're active in your area, the pay per lead thing right now, we're seeing anywhere between $25 to $45 per lead, which is phenomenal when we hear the average is what, $600 per conversion per lead. This is phenomenal, right? You're going to get leads delivered to you. They're going to be either calling or filling out the form. You're going to pay 25 to 45 bucks. Okay, prices vary by the industry, whether you're smart home automation, home theater, lighting control, whatever the case may be, and also where you're located. It's going to be more expensive in California, New York, and Atlanta versus maybe North Dakota, Louisiana, Missouri, Iowa, kind of stuff. Okay, so this is what we heard back from users that are utilizing this. Lower cost than normal PPC significantly, right? They're probably going to spend with local service ads maybe $600-700 versus $1,500 minimum. They kind of get the ball rolling. $2,500 optimized. Okay, they're higher quality leads than Thumbtack and Angie's, and you know Thumbtack and Angie's can be very expensive, and you're still bidding against other people for a lead that you don't know the quality of. You still get some price shoppers in there, and you have to kind of follow up very quickly to make sure that they're not going to a competitor who's also using these GSAs. And also, there's a really good solid ROI on this, right? These got a higher close rate because they're already kind of sold on the fact that you went through the rigmarole of what Google qualified means. Okay. So next steps for service ads. There's a link right here, and that's in your workbook too. You can go and sign up there and whatnot. Once you kind of have that, if you can either work with Google or you can kind of work with us, and we can kind of help you get through all that stuff. Okay. All right. You got something to say, Lane?
Yeah, I'm going to drop that link in the chat too, just
Okay.
so people have it.
So let's build our plan in 2024. What is your plan? Okay. What parts of this wheel are you going to take on now or within each quarter maybe expand upon to get that 7-touch thing rolling out, right? Everyone should be doing SEO regardless. People are searching for what they want. That is intent marketing. When someone searches for something, they're in a buying state. So SEO is a given. You cannot go without that. It's foundational. Okay? So figure out what you want to do. Okay? And then build your custom plan utilizing this checklist. You might be doing some of these things already, and you might see the gaps from this checklist that you need to kind of fill in to be able to have those things happening. All right. Lane's already gave you the link prior. It's also in your workbook, but if you just want this so you can just print it off by itself, the link's right there. So let's get this right here, but action items, okay? What are your top 3 internet marketing initiatives that you need to implement to hit your 2024 goal? All right, you can write those down. I'm going to give you like 30 seconds to kind of fill that out and to kind of figure that out. But are you going to start off with SEO? Are you going to move into more social media stuff? Are you going to maybe pull up the Google service local ads and get that done and get everyone checked off and certified. Write down what you need to do.
We'll say from experience, a lot of you guys need to take a closer look at your website and
Conversions.
the conversion elements on your websites.
Yeah.
It's like 90% of the websites that we see are just they don't have a they don't have decent conversion elements and trust
We've
elements and
we've even seen people who have spent sometimes $20,000-$30,000 on this beautiful website that
oh yeah,
does nothing
yeah.
other than maybe
It
flashing lights
looks
and
yeah, it looks cool, right? But it's not the response. It's not the job of website is to look cool, right? The job of website is to convert visitors to callers. So you got to really keep that in mind.
okay. So again, I'm going to ask, what have you learned? What have you noticed? And what would you like to share? It's all good. We won't force anybody to answer the questions. Just want to make sure that there's anything that someone wants to talk about. Oh, here we go. So, you didn't know about the Google Service Ads. It's really cool to know. And it is really cool. It gives a lot of opportunity for local businesses to kind of take control of the marketing without competing against Best Buy or Vivian's or any other like big conglomerate
Hmm.
franchise or huge company, right? They have an endless pocket of marketing budget, where you might only have $1,000 to $2,000 a month to spend on ads. So it's a really good option for those people.
Yeah, I'm really glad that Google did that. It's a really great thing for those small businesses for sure, service-based businesses. And we expect to see it to like really grow over time. Like it's still like really new, but
Yeah,
like I said earlier, right now it's only home theater, but we expect that to expand in other areas like lighting and
smart
even
home automation.
smart home automation. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so this is what we covered so far. All right, we've got our goal set for 2024. You know how many leads you need to hit your revenue. You have an understanding of the three fundamentals of marketing success, how to optimize your website and build up better conversion rates for your future. You got the big picture of online marketing. You know the latest trends and what to kind of jump on now before it gets out of hand. And you have the ability to develop a custom plan based on where you are now and what you need to do. Okay? So, you have these different things. You have a workbook that you can review. You have the checklist that you can go through and whatnot so that you actually have some resources. But if you need some more personal time, don't be afraid to reach out and let's talk. All right? You can either call us, you can book a call on our calendar. You can also text that number too. It will come to us. So if you're like me, you don't want to get on the phone call, you can text or just go book a call on a calendar, and we can set up a meeting, and we can work on helping you build out your marketing plan. And again, our goal is to get 500 people or 500 home integrators to triple their sales around the nation. So we're always happy to help. Um,
Yeah, don't
and
be shy.
yeah,
Come on down, as they say.
and if anybody has any questions, we'll stick around for a few. And if not, y'all can head on out. We'll stick around for the next like 10, 15 minutes for anybody who has any questions.
Yeah, I just want to take this time to thank everybody for their time for joining us. I know these things can go kind of long, but we covered a lot of stuff, a lot of good information. So we appreciate you sticking around. And thanks for joining us.